Hey everybody, how are you this afternoon? It's Christmas Eve and I'm just chilling out around the house, and I had a few things going on in my head and I just thought I'd do a video. Probably, I think I'm doing this video today because I don't figure too many people will watch videos on Christmas Day, and probably this one will just be for me to do a little psychological or self-analysis on myself. As the title suggests, it's always funny where those ghosts might pop up, and why and under what circumstances and what brings them about. And it's not always necessarily, I've been having some ghosts pop up the last few days, and it really has very little, nothing to do. It's not the ghost of Christmas past. It has nothing to do with where I am. I don't know, it's maybe time of the year, certain things I'm seeing. But yeah, I've just had a few weird ghosts rear their ugly heads, and I was thinking about it, and it's really not that big of a deal though. I mean, you know, I deal with my ghost in a very efficient manner. I just, it's kind of like meditation. If you try to, when you're meditating and you try to focus on stopping the thoughts from coming into your head, or any kind of thing to prevent the thoughts, it just makes you, dwell on them anymore. What most people will suggest in that situation is just, you know, acknowledging the thought. It's there, and then it'll usually, you acknowledge it, don't put any super significance on it, and it'll usually pass. So that's kind of how I do, but they are some weird ones. You know, and I kind of understand, some more so than others. One was last night, and I got it, you know, I don't know, I'm in a great mood while I'm here. There's no, it's gray outside, but I like gray weather. So it's not like I'm in some sort of a dark mood, so it's almost like a surprise, the one last night when it popped up. I was listening to some country music, and it was late at night, and I was in that certain mood that I am sometimes at the late night, and I got Jack Daniels in my head, and he was just sitting there. He just was sitting there. But it was weird. It wasn't so much... as I told you guys, I mean, if anybody's watching that doesn't know any background, I was a heavy drinker for over 30 years, and I always prided myself. It was a bragging right that I drank like a man. You know, I didn't drink like a little college girl. I didn't drink like frat boys, doing a few beers now and then. I drank. You know, I was even one of those that I would always make fun of other people. And one of my drinks of choice, I went through different phases in my life, but one that always I would come back to was Jack Daniels, and and my mentality always was, and my friends, you know, everybody out there's had their Jack and Coke. I always made fun of my boys when they did that. I said, a man never pours Coca-Cola in a Jack Daniels. I drank straight Jack Daniels. I drank straight a lot of stuff. I drank a lot out of the bottle, but yeah. Anyway, somehow Jack Daniels got in my head last night, and that's the first time a particular alcoholic beverage has gotten in my head in a while. And like I said, it was kind of weird. It wasn't any sort of an overwhelming desire to drink Jack Daniels. There might have been a little in there of nostalgia, just a little bit of just realizing the fact that I never was going to drink Jack Daniels again. And that's a good thing. Because we get crazy on whiskey. You know, you just get sloppy drunk on beer, but you get a little bit crazy on whiskey, especially when you're drinking beers and doing the Boilermakers. You know, I used to love that too. Beer in front of me, shot of Jack on the side. So yeah, I got that in my head last night. And probably, like I say, the country music didn't help. And I listen to old school country music when I do listen to country music. And somebody will say, oh, you listen to country music, but don't try to pinpoint me. I mean, I listen to really everything, every kind of genre out there. And country is really just kind of a side item. I always go back to it. I know all the roots. I love old country, the old George Jones and Hank Williams Sr. and all these guys, but I'm more modern than that. Not very age appropriate, actually. I mostly listen to hard-hitting rap, hip-hop. But I like my country, I like my jazz, I like opera, I like everything. But sometimes that country music just brings me back to those old drinking feelings. Because I used to do that even as recently as, say, 3 years ago. I bet you, yep, 3 Christmases ago, I was probably sitting in my little apartment in San Jose doing some writing, nursing on a little bottle of vodka. Because I always liked that kind of, and it would just, I'd love to dive into that melancholy, you know, of listening to some slow country music like some George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today, and similar type music, and I would just so slow sip on that stuff. But yep, but last night it was the Jack Daniels, and it totally got into my head, but wasn't a big deal. You know, it's not like nobody has to say, oh, okay, maybe you need to do, no, 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 no. It's done today. That was the thing last night. Came up, don't know why it came up, just allowed it to rattle around in there for a while, and it was gone. Sometimes if we don't put too much focus on any issues, I won't call it a problem because it wasn't a problem, sometimes maybe we make things bigger than they really are. I know a lot of people are into this self-examination stuff, and I know that's good in a lot of ways, but I think it's overdone sometimes. I think sometimes things just are what they are. They don't necessarily have to be dug. You don't have to dig deep into them or try to find these complicated root causes. They just are what they are. The second one that's been kind of bumping around probably has a little bit to do around the season. A few things I've seen, and I'm not going to go into any detail on this one because this one's kind of a private one. This one's a personal one. It's just something probably about 6 years ago or so that could have that would have greatly changed the course of my life. I mean, woo, 180 degrees probably, and in my head. And logically, I know I've made peace with that. I made peace with that right after that error happened. But the right thing, I mean, it wasn't, I'm not looking back necessarily. I look back with tinge of regret, tinge of what could have been. But I look back also knowing that what happened was for the best. And it is what it is. And you know, no thinking about it or trying to think. And I kind of got into this thing for, you know, maybe half an hour of just trying to be like, well, if it had been like this, then it could have worked out. And wow, that would have been great. Or if this had been this, and if this had happened, then I could have been free to do this. But you can't go back and change things or whatever. But there's a little bit of melancholy in that one. It makes me think. I mean, it puts some pictures in my head, not pictures of the past, but pictures of what might have been, you know, something that could have manifested itself, and I wonder what that picture would look like if circumstances had gone another way. But also, even though this one was a little deeper, and there's a little sadness, there's a tinge of sadness to that one. It's how to say, I don't know how to quite say it, because I mean, you know, like I say, I don't put a whole lot of labels, or I don't have to get to the root of how I'm feeling. It is what it is. I'm more of just an observer, you know, just seeing what's in front of me, and not trying to mess with it too much. But yeah, that one thought about quite a bit. And I've thought about it from time to time, and it doesn't have anything to do with the holidays per se, and it'll pop into my head as a stray thought from time to time. But it's always just very fast, and it passes pretty quick. It's not something that I dwell on and get into it. And then there's just the good ghosts from the past. I mean, you know, being in your childhood home. I mean, this is the place, this house, it's the only house I ever knew that my parents lived in. So that's more good stuff. There's no, you know, my father's been dead for 10 years, but that's not really a sad thing. My father would be 94 if he was alive today. He was 84 when he passed, and you know, we had a lot of good Christmases. So that's just a good thing. That's just kind of nice memories. So those aren't any ghost. If those are ghosts, and if we went, I guess there were some good ghosts in the traditional story, the Christmas Carol. Those would be good ghosts, because, you know, just good memories. And those have popped up too, and that's fun. You know, just getting out some of the old Christmas decorations and just seeing things, and, you know, fond memories. But where am I going with this? The ghosts pop up, and I guess what I said just a few minutes ago would be the only thing that I would add as any sort of way of dealing with things is, you know, sometimes there is that fine line. I know people, and I know in psychology, you know, you guys know I have a degree in psychology, but it means nothing. It's like $1 in my degree in psychology will get me a bus pass. I have an undergrad, and basically in that world, if any of you ever know anything about it, you get an undergrad in psychology and you can't even get a job except maybe as an orderly in a mental institution. But anyway, it is what it is. Like I say, I don't dwell on things. I don't think I need to explore everything. If something bothers me, I guess I'll explore it. But most of the time, it's just easier. We can blow these things up in our mind. Like something like this, if I really wanted to dwell in on it, and if I was still drinking, I could probably go down into the caves. I used to like to actually wallow in that kind of stuff. But, you know, I like the light now. I like the light. I like a little bit. I got a little bit of darkness every once in a while. It's kind of like the yin yang. Within the light, there's a little bit of darkness, and within darkness, there's a little bit of light. I believe in that a lot. There's no absolutes. There's no good, bad. There's no black and white, absolute. Some people say there is, and I do believe in absolutes on some things. So I'm rambling. Anyhow, just sharing a little bit today, and just working a few things out in my head. Hope you guys are having a very, very good holiday season. Like I say, whether you did Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Allahu Akbar, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Life, Happy Tomorrow, Happy Today. Love you guys. Peace.